This video is to demonstrate the Abby GPS device from Careium. Different wearing options is either on a keyring, so it can be attached to a set of keys, or you can put it in a carry case, a leather carry case, which has a clip on the back, so it can be clipped to either a belt or a piece of clothing. And it also comes with an adjustable lanyard with the quick release so that they can wear it around the neck. This is the charging dock, home beacon, and I'll charge mine shortly so that you can see the display.
So mine's currently charging, it's in the charging dock. So to turn on the GPS device, to turn on the Abby, you can either put it in the charging dock or simply just hold down the side button. And once it is on the display, the LCD display will tell you the time, number of steps, so it has a pedometer, which is useful for a predictive and preventative feature whereby we are looking to include rules so that, for example, if someone's daily living routine is that they get up in the morning and start moving around at 8 o'clock, but then one morning there's not been any steps taken at 8 o'clock, then it can automatically put an alert through to either the carer or the control centre. Also on the display it gives you the battery level. You can see all this from the DMP as well, iCare Online. It tells you that the device is currently at home and it's on 4G. In some areas, if there is poor 4G, it will back up to 2G as a safety net. So it comes with a SIM card inbuilt, so that the service user during an alarm activation can speak to the control centre operator through the device. It's IP67, so it's waterproof. They can wear it in the shower. For positioning, it uses GPS and Wi-Fi spots when it's outside. When it's in the home, it uses the charging dock, the beacon. So it does that via Bluetooth. So it knows it's at home because it's in range of the charging dock. So it stops spikes on the map, and it also extends the battery life because it doesn't have to be searching for GPS satellites while it's indoors. It uses the beacon instead with Bluetooth positioning. It's got fall detection, so if the device, if the service user wants to enable a fall detection, you can set it to either high sensitivity or normal, so that can be adjusted. All these features can either be turned on or off. There's a free mobile app that can be downloaded either from App Store or for Android on Google Play. It has geofence or safety zones, so if they do go outside of that safe area, let's say there's a mile parameter around the home, and if they go outside of that, it will automatically put an alert through. It's got a long battery life, so 6 days battery life. So a couple of features that's enabled us to get the 6 days battery life is going back to the home beacon, where it picks up the location using the charging dock when it's at home, and it only uses GPS when it's outside of the home. But also alongside that, the device automatically adjusts the frequency that it's tracking. So for example, if someone's moving fast in a car, for example, it'll track every minute, whereas if someone's moving slowly, it'll automatically adjust and track every 3 to 4 minutes instead. And this gives us the better battery time. Different configuration options, so yeah, it can either go through to the relative or the carer using the app, the mobile app, or alternatively it can go through to an alarm receiving centre, or a mixture of both. It could be that the carers are busy or they miss the alert, and then it falls back to the control centre as a safety net. Fast charging, so from 0% to 100, it takes about an hour and a half. Most service users just keep it topped up, Obviously, when the battery does run low, it'll put through a low battery alert through to the control centre. So it uses SCAPE protocol. So it'll go through to John Tech, UMO, all the main control centres we use in the UK. Step counter, so it has a pedometer on the device. On the mobile app, it tells the carer or the relative the battery level, the geofence. You have a chat function as well, so it's similar to like a WhatsApp group chat where the carers can chat amongst themselves, or they can make themselves busy and unavailable. Obviously it gives the map and the number of steps that the service user has taken. So the device is 4G, and it supports, it has the transmitter to link pendants to it as well. So for example, if the device is on charge but the service user needs assistance, they can press their pendant and it'll link to the Abby GPS device, and then it will call through to the control centre. And that goes for all peripherals, so you can link smoke detectors, CO, heat, and door contacts. So it's very much like a dispersed alarm unit in the home, which then works as a GPS tracker outside of the home. It has home and away alarms. So for example, the geofence or the safety zone is a bigger area. For example, like a mile parameter around the home, whereas some service users may want to be alerted as soon as they open the front door, as soon as they go outside. So it has home and away alarms as well, similar to a property exit. So it's in addition to the geofence. It's a geofence on a much smaller scale. And we've also introduced a new setting where you can use the Abby as a lone worker device. So it'll go through silently, for example, through to the control centre, so that the operators can listen in and obviously follow protocols to contact emergency services if they hear anything in the background that's considered an emergency. The DMP iCare Online shows the product details. So if I search for the Abby, I'll search by the IMEI number. It's quite a long number, so you don't have to enter the full number. You could just enter the last few digits. Okay, so this is my test Abby device. It's currently showing a missing heartbeat because the battery's dead, so it's turned off. I'll charge it in a moment. So it gives you the SIM CLI number. It tells you the home beacon, the charging dock. It currently says that it's away from the charging dock, so it knows whether it's in range or away from the home. And when there is an emergency SOS call which goes through to a control centre, it actually gives the operator that detail. It gives them that call criteria, that description. So rather than the operator having to look on the map to work out whether they are at home or not, they can see whether it's an SOS button in home or SOS button out of home. Obviously, if it's out of home, then that can be a prompt that they can check the map. Battery level, signal strength. It has the pedometer information as well, which is on a chart. So if I did take some steps between the date range, it would display on a chart. The map, so it uses GPS is the red balloons or pins. However, if it's in a large building, for example, the Trafford Centre, where it might struggle to get a GPS signal in the home, in the building, then it can back up to using Wi-Fi position. So as you're walking past McDonald's or Costa Coffee, it will pick up the Wi-Fi signals and use that as a location. So if I zoom in, it tells you the direction of travel as well, which I think is quite useful for an operator, because when there's a lot of pins, it's difficult sometimes to read the map. And if you hover the mouse over each pin, it tells you the date and time that pin was. So if I follow the route that I took, and then wherever it is now, you can click on, or wherever it was last, you can click on Get Address, and it tells you the address. Rather than a longitude and latitude, you can have the full address. Different functions available in the DMP, so you can program the device using a template, very similar to when you're programming the ELISA dispersed alarm units. It gives you the location history, so that you're not only looking at the location now, you can search back in time. So in the location history, you can enter the from and to dates and see a map going back historically. Alarm history, so you can see an audit log of the alarms which has been triggered, either going through to the control centres or the carers. Find by audio, so even though it is a GPS device, service users do sometimes lose them, maybe in the home, so you can click on Find by audio and it'll play a tune, so that they can find the Abby GPS device in the home. Product history, that's an audit log of any edits or programming which has been done on the device. Pedometer history, so you can see how many steps they've done on certain days. I'll now demonstrate how to program an Abby GPS device so that we can raise a test call through to the control centre. Again, search by my IMEI number, or the last few digits, which is printed on the back of the device or on the box that it came in. So a brand new Abby device out of the box will show a status of inactive. So very similar to the dispersed units, you go down to activate product, and then the only two bits of information that I need to enter on this screen is the alarm ID, what I want the device to go through to the control centre as, so that it brings up the client's details, and also the programming template, which includes the emergency numbers. So in this case, I'm going to use the SIM CLI as the alarm ID, but you can choose anything for the alarm ID as long as it's unique, and then select the template from the drop-down menu. I'm not going to bother filling out the name and address because that's already in the control centre database in UMO. So I just click Save at the bottom, and that programs the device over the air. So it takes me back to the product details page. It currently shows has jobs in queue. So as soon as I get my green traffic light and it shows no jobs in queue, then I can raise my test call through to the control centre. I'll refresh the page. So you can refresh either by pressing F5 on your keyboard or refresh at the top. Not yet. Usually takes 2 minutes to program a device. If you wanted to quicken the process, you can force a heartbeat so that it programs quicker, and you do this by taking the Abby out of the cradle and putting it back in again. And that'll force the device to come online. If I refresh the screen again, this time I'll get a green traffic light show me that the device is online. It's still programming though, it still shows has jobs in queue, so I'll just wait another 30 seconds or so. And when it says no jobs in queue, we'll raise the test call. The battery level is increased to 18%. Refresh. And there we go, green traffic light and no jobs in queue. So I can now press the SOS button and raise my test call through to the control centre.
I can now activate a test call. So I can do that either by pressing the SOS button, so holding it down for about 1.5 seconds, or alternatively pressing it 3 times quickly. Or I can activate it using any of my sensors that I've linked to it, any of my telecare sensors, so either the Ellis jewellery pendant, or my smoke detector, or just a standard pendant. In this case I'll use the Ellis jewellery pendant.
Welcome to the response centre. Your details are being presented to an operator and we will speak to you as soon as possible. Welcome to the response centre. Your details are being presented to an operator and we will speak to you as soon as possible. Welcome to the...
Hello, you're station at Careium, how can I help?
Hello, I'm doing a test call from a new device. Is it match my details?
It's come through test account Wayne O'Donnell.
Perfect, that's great. Have a good day.
Alright, cheers buddy.
Bye. The operator has now closed down the call. The device allows the operators to ring back the device as well and speak to the service user through the device, so following a no response, for example, or for a welfare check. So similar to the ELISA dispersed units, it allows incoming calls at any time. 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the device calling the control centre, but it's a useful feature to have.
I'm now going to show you a different scenario where the device will call through to a family member or a carer instead through to the mobile app. So to do this, copy the IMEI number, because we're going to paste that on the next screen. And also on the next screen we need to be able to search by the service user's name. So in here, I didn't enter the service user's name in here previously. However, now I will. So I can click on the little pencil. So the service user's name, I'll be the service user. I don't need to add the service user's address. The only benefit really of adding the service user's address if I'm creating a geofence or a safety zone, I can add the service user's address here so that when it brings up the map, it's not just zoomed out as a map of the UK. It'll zoom into the actual home address, and then I can draw my geofence around the safe area. In fact, while I am in here, I will add the address as well. Okay, so to add a carer or a relative as a trusted person, click on More from Careium and go to iCare Plus. It uses the same credentials as iCare Online, so use the same username and password. And then the first step is to search by the IMEI number, so I copied it from the previous screen, so I can paste it in there. And because I entered the details on the previous screen, it easily identifies it from the name and address of the service user. So click on import. Get confirmation imported as Wayne O'Donnell. So click on the link, the Wayne O'Donnell link, and it opens the device. So to add a trusted carer, under the carers section, click on add carer, add new user, if they're not already in there, UK. So I'm going to add my mobile number. The carer I'm going to put as my son, so I'll put my son's name. I don't need to add my son's address, it's fine just with the name. I can send him an SMS invitation as well. You may have already downloaded the app, however if not, then I can send an invitation which includes the link to download the app, either for Android or iPhone. My son's on Android, so I'll delete the iPhone link. And then click save. So it tells me the status, invitation pending. I've now received a text message on my son's phone asking me to download the app. So I've now got a welcome screen on my mobile phone. You've been invited to act as a carer on behalf of Wayne O'Donnell. Yeah, the invitation pending is disappeared, so I know that the app has been downloaded by the carer. And if I want Jake to invite other people as carers, just so that each carer doesn't have to contact the service provider to do it, the main carer can take responsibility and allow them to invite other carers. And then in terms of the SOS calls, the emergency calls from the device, I can either go through this manually or I can create a template so that I can demonstrate how the configuration works. In this video I'll go through it manually. So first of all, the SOS button on the GPS device, the manual SOS button, I can set it to contact all the carers individually, so serial, and it'll go through the call sequence. It'll ring contact 1 first for 1 minute, and then go to contact 2 for 1 minute, and then to contact 3. However, if I wanted the SOS button, the alarm call, to go through to all the carers at the same time, I can do that. And whoever accepts the alert first will then, that carer will then have speech connected to the device. In this case, I'll choose serial. If I wanted it to fall back to the control centre as a backup, in case the carers missed the alert, I can keep that enabled. If not, I can disable it. So that's the manual SOS button, the button press, the big button on the device. The fall detection, I can set that the same. Geofencing, so if they go outside of a safety zone. So you can either do this manually or you can select the template. So the easiest way to think of it is if you're turning this on, then it means it's going through to the carer, the relative. If I wanted the geofencing alerts to go through to the carer, but the fall and the button press to go through to the control centre, I would turn those off. So the button press will go through to the control centre, the fall detection will go through to the control centre, but I've enabled it so that the geofencing goes through to the carer. So you can pick and choose, you can sort of do call routing, where different call criteria will go through to. The home beacon, so that can either go through as just an alert, a ping on the app, or you can set it to raise an alarm. Battery low, battery critical. I'd want an alert on the app when the battery's full. If the device is turned off following a critical low battery and the device is turned on, I can get a notification. Smoke alarm, CO. So you can pick and choose where you want the alarm calls to go through to. There's no save button, that'll just save automatically. So this time if I press my raise an alarm call from the device, it'll ring through to the app.
So this time, to demonstrate a test call through to the carer's app, I'm going to use the manual SOS button, holding it down for about 1.5 seconds. So I can accept the alert, and it counts down, so I've got 1 minute to accept it before it then rolls over to contact 2, contact 3, etc. And I'm going to accept the alert, so I'll select I'm on it. And I can either close down the alert or I can speak to the service user. So if I select talk to Wayne, and then I can either ring the device myself. However, to avoid international call charges, I'm going to select the option which says alarm device calls you. Status changes to waiting for call. And then you've got two-way connected to the device. So I can close the call down. And then in the app, I can select I'm done.
And finally, I want to demonstrate how to draw a geofence or safe zone on the Abby device. So you scroll down to the bottom, click on remote programming, and because I've entered the name and address of the service user on the previous screen, the geofence map will zoom directly into the home location. It just makes it easier when drawing the safe zone around that area. So the remote programming will display the emergency numbers, the volume setting, all the additional settings. The tab you go to is called geofence. At the end, I'm going to draw geofence 1, change the drop down from disabled to enabled, which displays the map. The name, I'm going to call it safe zone. You can have it alert if they go inside or outside of the safe zone. So I'm going to raise the alert when they walk outside. Zoom out a little bit. And then to draw the map, you simply left click. And each left click will draw a point. So you can be quite detailed. And then when you get back to the starting point, it completes. And if you did something slightly wrong and you wanted to move it, you can just drag it to the right location. Or if one of the points were in the wrong location, you can click it and move it. And then once you're happy with it, click save at the bottom.